You should not be able to control Mega Man as you're being hurt. That should not be a thing. Everything I say is based on my own opinions and experience. I'm not speaking for the public, and my feedback should be treated as such. You are watching Nico Evaluates. With 25 years of experience on Mega Man games, 7 years of doing the No Miss Buster Only challenge, and countless Snupster Races, as well as being the QA tester for Mega Man Unlimited, I'm here to tell you my honest opinion on different Mega Man games, so sit tight and learn. Hello people and welcome to Nico Evaluates Mega Man Revenge of the Fallen Abridged. That's a fucking mouthful, but we got it out. So the poll that I held was going strong, 50-50 all the time. Abridged and normal version were the same amount of votes every hour, so I decided to pull the plug and do the abridged version, because I'm not into exploration or adventure. That's not what Mega Man is about. We're gonna do the straightforward, everyday, jump and shoot, kill things Mega Man, and not the let's sniff under this rock and find a piece of Russia's eyelash. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna play what I suppose is the better version, and the old school Mega Man version. So let's do that. And do I hear correctly? Is this using 16-bit instead of 8-bit music? If the game is 8-bit, that's gonna mess with my brain. First, let's see if you can bind the buttons. It does say in the PDF that I can indeed bind my controller inputs. Nope. Time to set up Joy the Keaton. I'll be back. Motherfucker. We are all set up with Joy the Key. Window scale thankfully goes up enough. Why couldn't you fit all of these items on the screen here? Why is weapon R lonely there at the bottom? Easy to miss, I guess. Kinda strange. We can live with it though. And now, since I changed the size of the game, the window completely shit the bed. There we go. That should work out for everyone. Let's have fun times. My heart rate fucking monitor says that check if the tracker is already connected to another device and disconnect them. Well, it is fucking not, so you're gonna just see 2 lines. That is today's agenda with my heart rate. I'm gonna fix it for the next one, I hope. Let's get right into it and see what we have here to deal with. I should mention that we are gonna check the differences of these builds at the end of this series. So I'm gonna showcase quickly what the differences, main differences are with the abridged and the normal version. Basically the normal version, from what I've heard, it's a lot more tricky. There's multiple routes you can take, or routes. There's hidden items, but this is more straightforward here, so let's hope that's the case. Did you notice though that the arrows are not centered correctly? No, in any case, let's see what's... Oh nice, a save file, I can appreciate that. Very good. Alright, we have an intro stage. An avid spot. I'm screaming on top of the game audio again. Yeah, this game has 16-bit audio, it's kinda strange to have 16-bit music playing when you're playing an 8-bit game. That's gonna mess with my brain a little bit. What an avid place to test the physics here, and we have good space here to test all of it. What immediately caught my eye was the walking animation. There's something off about it. I love how Mega Man is bobbing his head up and down instead of left and right. That's a huge fucking improvement over the other Game Maker games. Very well done. I appreciate that. But there's something very strange about the walking animation. Maybe it's like too fluent, maybe it's too smooth. I'm gonna put Mega Man's walking animations on the mini screen from Mega Man 4 and from this game here, side by side, so you can see what the difference is. There's something very strange about it. It feels like I'm controlling a browser flash game. It feels very floaty. The controls It feels like Mega Man has been filled up like a balloon and he's about to explode. It's very floaty. There's something off about it, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something is off about it, and it's probably the speed. Like, look at how fast you can turn. This is not typical for a Mega Man game, that Mega Man can turn this fast. This is not usual. Like, I think he runs so fast. Maybe it's the running speed. We're gonna see what the difference is, but maybe he's responding way too fast. It's not typical for Mega Man to be, he looks like he's high on sugar. Fucking licked 50 lollipops in one evening and then went on and tried to save the world. So, basic tests. You can jump off a slide, no problem. At the end of the slide, at the beginning of the slide, you can just jump off the slide, and that's very helpful. Why is my controller not showing my inputs? There we go, there's the inputs, now you can see. So that's, control-wise, a good job. And it's just, I think Mega Man could be too fast, maybe that's it. It's probably the speed, because as you can see when we fire the Buster, Mega Man's animation is way shorter than it is supposed to be. If we compare this animation on the mini screen, you can tell that the animation in this game is way faster. It's something that you just have to get used to when playing this game, I suppose. This game does have some huge problems with the physics, but we're gonna go into them as we pretty much collide into the problems head first. The charging is something that I personally can't stand, because as you know, I'm sensitive to blinking lights. This is an extreme case of blinking. I cannot look at this. Of course, that's a personal issue. I understand that. I can't criticize the game for this. But it's something that I cannot, like, physically do. I am not gonna charge too much in this game. And also notice how long it takes for the charge to fill up. It's an extremely long waiting period. But it depends how the game is built, if that works for its favor or not. I kinda like it. Doesn't let you scum the game so easily by always charge bustering everything. So I guess that could come into play like that. But the charge animation colors, they are way too bright, and the yellow with the green tones is seriously messing with my eyes. So you will not see me charge that often. It's really hurting my eyes. And for that I apologize, I cannot help it. So the controls are extremely floaty. There's something very strange about them. It's not typical at all. It's different from any other Mega Man fan game I've ever played. There's something very obscure about them, but we are gonna have to live with them. Let's go check our first enemy, or first enemies. And here is where we encounter the main problem with this game, at least in my humble opinion. The assets and the enemies are used from the original games, and some other developers are guilty for this as well. So when you use the original assets and the original enemies, I would always make them work just like the originals did. Because when they don't, veterans like me are gonna get confused when things don't work as I expect them to. This would be fine if you altered the enemy's color or something. That would let me know that, alright, this enemy might not work the same. If you made this enemy blue, I would know that, okay, maybe he's different from the original red ones. But since everything looks the same in this game, than let's say from Mega Man 6, then I assume that they all work like they did in Mega Man 6. And that's gonna be the biggest gripe. Well, one of the biggest gripes I have about this game is that it borrows assets and never really explains how they work. The game throws you in and expects that you know how the changes affect the gameplay. like this enemy here, it doesn't work at all like the original does. The original is way slower and it doesn't explode. And also the explosion, for some reason it explodes in the pit. So is there death spikes? No, but for some reason the enemy's projectile explodes down there. That's one bug we found out right off the bat. Not a huge problem, of course, probably not gonna come into play, but it's something that we should notice as we play. As well as if we look at this Met here, its speed is completely off from what we know. Look at how slow he is, very slow, and even when he activates, he slowly comes up under his helmet and 10 attacks. It's way different from any other Met design I have seen, and so there's a lot to learn with this game, and that's gonna be one of the things that I will I'll talk about it all the time. And now that we got that out of the way, let's check the hurt animation. So as you can see, it's a bit glitchy. Hurt animations in my books you should always get them right the first time. That's very strange. So if you keep holding left and right while you get hurt, Mega Man kinda dances back and forth. Maybe that's intentional, but I would not add that in my game. If I was the developer, or if I was testing this game, I would have told the developer, no, stop that, no, quit it. This is not a thing. A lot to get used to in this game. And one thing I should point out, another small thing, because I like nitpicking. Some fan games have Mega Man's the one-up phase there. It has yellow skin. And some fan games even have yellow skin on Mega Man. It's not yellow, it's pretty close to a skin color. So I don't know why some people add the yellow tone into it. It's not... It doesn't look pretty. And what comes to the Pedergy, this eyeball guy here, if you notice when he drops down, he's fast as hell when he is in the air. That is, of course, as well something that should not happen, and sometimes we miss the shots here and sometimes we don't. So that makes me think that the hitbox is actually kinda cool. So maybe when the suction cup is pointing up, we hit it, and when it's not, we miss. That is kinda cool. I don't think I've ever seen that in a fan game. So that's something that I can approve. Making the hitbox the actual area of the enemies, something I haven't seen yet. Usually they just use squares. Yeah, look at that. That's amazing. Amazing job on the hitbox. That is extremely... I enjoy that. That's something that I have never seen in a Mega Man game, but... At the same time, kinda strange when he picks up speed when he's in the air. Of course, that's not a thing on the originals, suffice to say, of course. So let's continue here. These guys, Togeheroes from Mega Man 4, they were not used to... they never came out of pits like this. But that's a fun design in my books. Small enemy alterations like this I can live with. But again, it's kind of the same color, it's a bit more green though, so there's that. The original Togehero is, of course, a bit lighter, a lighter green variant. So this is where you can use the excuse of it, hey, it's a new enemy type, it has a different color or a different style. Now it's coming out of pits, I can get behind that. But something I don't understand here, why do we have... Can you... So why do we have a breakable block on the intro stage? We just got here. Huh. And also the charged buster doesn't ding away from stuff, it just disappears. So I'm guessing that's a mini E-tank? Maybe, yeah, that's a mini E-tank. So I'm not sure why there's a breakable block on the intro stage. That's kinda ass backwards. But what was wrong with the original design of these enemies? You just made them pathetic. I would much prefer the original design of this one as well, and again, it's the same design, so it makes me think it works the same. So my first instinct when I come here is, oh shit, it's the cannons from Mega Man 4, so I'll just run under it, cause it's gonna shoot straight forward, right? That's how they work. But no, they do a little piss shot like that. No, I'm not gonna expect that to happen, because it's the same design. And that is something that we're gonna run into a lot in this game. You have a lot of new stuff to learn. If you swap between the classic games and then go back to this, you're gonna have a hard time adjusting. And talking about hard times, check this out. Well, shit. Time to commit suicide. Kind of a rough start for an intro stage. Game is kicking our ass. Maybe the game... and some things that I critique about here are nitpicking, of course they are, but that's my job. I have to point out every little thing, cause that's what I do. I hope we encounter more batantons. Actually, can we scroll it back on the screen? The original batantons go back up to the ceiling when you get hit by them. But I already know for a fact that these guys don't, they just keep chasing you. We're gonna showcase that later. So the transition a bit strange. Again, nothing I've ever seen Again, this is something that I've never seen in another fan game. Very strange transition. It kind of loads up for a moment, and then it pushes you down a frame. Like that. And then you can go. So it like pauses. Ah, I see. The Hammer Joe is trying to set the waypoint. He's facing left first. He doesn't know which side you're on. So it's doing the same thing as Mega Man Eternal did with the pathfinding. So every time you come on the screen, it's at that point when the enemies home on you and turn. So again, the charging, I can't bear that. We're not gonna charge too much. So already I've learned a lot about this game, and we're only in the intro stage. The normal edition of this game is a lot more convoluted. It's there's a lot of branching in the stages. There's multiple paths, hidden secrets, and all that jazz. I'm not really into that, so that's why we're playing this version. And you guys voted for this as well. So if you take a hit from the baton, it does not go up to the ceiling. It just keeps hammering down on us. I'll show on the mini screen what happens with the classic games when you get hit by a baton. Hammer Joe though seems mostly unchanged, but of course he is missing some frames in his animation as well. So this game feels like it's running a lot faster than a typical Mega Man game. Ah, that hurts my eyes. Another breakable wall. Very strange. Oh, I almost exited the stage, alright. I like how the menu has those little flavor texts. That's fun. Tells you more about the weapons, I suppose. But these cannons, they are a laughingstock now. They do nothing. They are worthless right now. You made them worthless. Hold on a minute. If you take the life, you're pretty much dead again. So I'm assuming you can revisit the intro stage, but... Strange layouts. It's not too bad, the intro stage yet. The enemy placements have been pretty good, so far at least. It's just that I'm trying to get used to this game and how different it is. It's like I'm playing a browser game, like a Flash game. Like I know that's like a great insult, but that's literally how I feel. Like I fire up my Internet Explorer, go to Google and type Mega Man Flash games and start this game up. You should not be able to control Mega Man as you're being hurt. That should not be a thing. Whoa. Yeah, some of the physics seriously off. I'm not saying that the game is not enjoyable, but we're gonna dig deep into this game's soul and figure out what it's made of. Ah, I see. The Pedarchies don't even home on you, they just walk left and right. So in the original games, if you jump over them, they will turn. Here they don't. I can understand if you want to rematch in enemies, but please alter the designs so we know. Don't just use the existing designs and be lazy about it. Actually Change the designs, change the colors. Make your own game. Don't just use the existing assets and make them different. That is extremely infuriating for someone who knows their Mega Man games. So the placements are pretty good. That's what I like so far. The developer has given like 3 fucks when she was placing the enemies. That's very cool. And these have been altered as well, that's why I died. They are a lot slower. But they have an animation, something's gonna happen. That's cool that you animated these. I love that. But again, they're different and using pretty much the same design. Alright, tricky position there. Easier to kill the Mets when they're so much slower. Yeah, the Charge Buster should definitely ding. It should ricochet off of the enemies, not just disappear, because that makes you think it actually did something when it really didn't. Imagine if you're a deaf player playing this game, you just keep shooting Charge Busters into that enemy thinking it works. After like 10 Charge Busters you're like, alright, maybe it doesn't work. Cater also the people with disabilities, telling everyone in general that when you're designing a fan game, don't make the players rely on audio cues. Because we're all people, we come from different backgrounds, we have different diseases, we have different handicaps and disabilities. You always have to think about that as well when designing your game. Alright, Yoku blocks on the intro stage. Why do I have the feeling that this game is totally gonna kick our ass? Well, looks like the Yoku blocks work pretty much the same. If you're inside them, they'll shove you off. I would probably think twice about adding Yoku blocks on the intro stage. Like, come on, it's the first stage. Let's check the pattern first. Oh no, one on top of the other. Okay, let's die. Huh, actually made it. Yeah, the controls are very Mega Man Eternal-esque. That's not a good thing. Very strange. I felt like I wanted to charge, but the charging takes so long, it's not worth it. Pretty much, it's not worth to charge in this game. It's so much faster to just buster everything. Good positions. What? What was that transition? Those are too late, Mega Man. We had the data we need. Feel free to entertain thyself with a present from Wily. Radios. That's a cool design. Have the boss appear on the hallway. What the weird transition? Oh no. I see the spikes, you can't fool me. I was wishing for original music as well. But it's just borrowed from other games made in the 16-bit style. Not a huge fan. And they're played in like a different key. So it's kind of messing with my brain. Everything sounds so sad, at least till this point. Good, a fucking good job on this boss though. I think it's an improvement over the original, like literally. So much easier to hit the boss, you don't have to hit the nostrils, like in the original game. You can actually hit the whole head. And the head is blinking as well. I like this very cool vibe into it. Very nicely done, I feel. Good boss fight. For like the first boss, extremely satisfying job. That's a good one. I think you improved the dragon. Nice. Oh, nice. Mega Man 4 graphics. Now you got me in hooked. Congratulations. Holy shit. It's a lot of balls. Do I have to print screen this? Does the game save this? Please tell me the game saves it. You know what? That was a long episode. That's gonna be the first episode. We checked the physics, we ran the intro stage. We're gonna continue from here on the next episode. If you agreed on what I said, leave a like. If you disagreed, leave a dislike. Catch you on the next one.